Welcome to Monday Musings with the Blended Mama, gentle encouragement for busy women finding calm in the chaos. I'm Teresa, and this is a quiet place to pause at the start of your week. No pressure, no productivity lecture, just a few minutes of perspective, reflection, and one small step you can carry into the days ahead. I'm really glad you're here. Today, we're talking about something simple but powerful, the idea of deciding once. Not once and never adjust, not once and never revisit, but decide once so you're not deciding the same thing over and over again. Now, I'm going to just give you some examples from my own life. One of the clearest ways that this shows up for me is at work for my day job. So, a while back, probably before Christmas, I was really trying to improve my productivity and efficiency, and also, honestly, just combating perimenopause symptoms. So I made the decision that the very last thing I would do every Friday before I log off for the weekend was to set up my to-do list and my plan of attack for the following week. That's it. That was my decide once. So on Friday afternoons, I review my week. I look at what I accomplished during the week. I evaluate what is still on the list, right? Because I had a to-do list. So what is still on my to-do list? What did I not get done? Which of those things still matter? Is there something I can delegate to someone else, or do I need to bring another resource? Is it something that still matters and I need to carry it forward into next week? Also, if there are one or two small things that I can knock out quickly before the day ends, I do try to just go ahead and do that, right? And then I map out the following Monday. So I carry forward the to-dos that still need to go, and anything that is special for that week, I'll go ahead and add them to my to-do list. And when Monday morning comes, I don't have to sit there and wonder, where do I start? What matters most today? And what the heck did I forget from last week, right? Because I already decided, I already wrote it down. And that removes so much mental noise for me. Now, this concept comes from The Lazy Genius Way by Kendra Adachi, which is one of our book clubs for 2026, and I'm so excited about it. But what I love about it is how practical and kind this concept is, but honestly, the whole book. It's just so good. I underlined and highlighted probably half of the book, so it just really resonated with me a lot. But the concept of deciding once is not about productivity. It's about reducing decision fatigue. Now, I'm not an impulsive decision maker, and honestly, for some things, I just don't care. If you ask me what I want for dinner, I'm probably not going to have an answer. It's very rare that I have like I always want XYZ, right? But I am somebody that, especially for bigger decisions, I stew, I process, I gather information. I probably overthink it. I am an engineer. I probably overanalyze, okay? But when something is already decided, it removes some of that anxiety. It removes that in the moment pressure to just figure it out, right? And it allows me to focus on the doing instead of re-deciding. Now, you might be realizing by now that it's not your schedule that's exhausting you, it's some of that constant negotiating, right? And this shows up for me in my planner too. So for me, that looks like using the same general weekly structure every week. I'm in a season where I'm actually using my journal as my planner, and I'm creating my own weekly pages, which really are just logging as I go, right? But my framework on the front end when I set up my week, that is consistent. So I have a monthly overview with the week highlighted so I can see exactly where I am in the month. I have a section for a focus verse and affirmation to keep me grounded. I have a small habit tracker with one or two habits. I have a place for appointments so I can see things that are time sensitive that week. I even have a section for meal planning. We're going to talk about that here in a bit. And then I have one big to-do list. Of course, it's color coded so I can quickly see which of those items connect to my current goals, but also it's just one list to work from. So as the week is progressing and I'm working on things, I can evaluate, do I have the time for this? Do I have the energy for it? Do I have the mental capacity for this right now? And if not, I can move to the next thing on the list, and I can just accomplish the next thing, right? So I'm not putting myself into a rigid, you need to do this on Monday, this on Tuesday, right? But I'm not reinventing my layout every Sunday either. I've decided once what my week needs to hold. Now I just show up and use it. And yeah, sometimes I tweak things a little bit, but as a general rule, That's the same layout week to week. Now, for somebody else, this might look like putting your top three priorities in the same place every week, or always adding a small habit tracker in the corner of your weekly layout. Or maybe it's just deciding that I'm going to plan my month first and then I'm going to plan my week. The point isn't the system. The point is reducing how often you have to think about the system. Now, I kind of hinted at this earlier. I'm going to give you a place where I resist deciding once, and that is meal planning. So I did create a place in my planner for it because I know I need to do it. When I meal plan, dinner time is easier. End of discussion, right? There's less scrambling, less frustration, less staring into the abyss of the refrigerator at 5 o'clock, wondering what the heck am I going to make out of these random ingredients, right? But I absolutely loathe meal planning. I do not enjoy it. I don't like to cook. I don't like to touch raw meat. I just don't like it. But we are in a season where I have needed to take on more of the dinner responsibilities just due to some shifts in our household. And it's fine, it's a season. I know it's what needs to happen right now, but it is not my favorite. And so I resist it. I resist it like hardcore. But that means that I end up deciding over and over again, and that costs me so much more energy than the 15, maybe 20 minutes of planning on the front end would have. And so there's obviously tension there, right? So deciding once is not about loving every decision. It's about choosing which decisions deserve to be repeated and which ones can be settled. So I've had seasons, in fact, last year and the year before, where I had a very structured power hour every work day from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. So I would do my quiet time and then I had my power hour. And then at 7 a.m., I started my day job. So I had this hour where I was really working on my business. I had a structure to it. On Mondays was Monday musings, and Tuesday was Tuesday tip videos, and Wednesday was blog posts, and Thursday was emails. And so I had a rhythm, I had a routine, and it worked beautifully until it didn't. And so the season I'm in right now requires a bit more flexibility. Deciding once doesn't have to mean decide forever. It means decide for this season. And when the season shifts, you're allowed to revisit it. I've learned, and I've said this for a long time, that when I say yes to something, I'm automatically saying no to something else. And so that just reinforces that my decisions matter, right? Because every yes carries weight and every no protects something. Deciding once helps you to be intentional about which yes gets your energy. So here's your question as you step into this week. What are you deciding over and over again that could be decided once? Is it where you start your workday? Is it how you structure your week? Is it when you plan or how you plan? Is it how many priorities you allow yourself to carry? What could you settle, not permanently necessarily, but for now? Not to restrict yourself, but to free yourself. Because deciding once isn't about control, it's about clarity. And clarity gives you margin to focus on what really matters. If this encouraged you, I would love for you to follow the podcast so these Monday musings can meet you right where you are each week. You'll find links in the show notes to the community, information about upcoming book clubs, and any planning resources I might have mentioned. And if you'd like a little extra encouragement in your inbox, you can join my email list there as well. Until next time, friend, be gentle with yourself. Decide what can be settled and take one small step forward. I'll be here next Monday.